Hey there, so my name is Liz and this is the first episode of my YouTube channel, Niche Astrology Takes, and today we're going to analyze the new Pope Leo the 14th's birth chart. I just wanted to show you guys where I am first. I'm outside. I was just out going for a walk, getting some iced coffee, and finally felt the energy to start this video. So I just wanted to share the visual with you guys, but I am gonna get his chart up on the screen so you can follow along with what I'm saying. This is all for entertainment purposes only. I don't want to make anybody mad. But there's really only positive stuff to focus on. I don't know much about the guy other than we're both from Chicago, hey, and I've just been seeing a ton of memes about him and just so much buzz in the States, so I thought he would be a good person to do a read on for my first episode. It's very timely. I'll also look at the transits that he's going through right now to kind of show how we can track maybe what his chart's direction is versus where he's at this point in time, because I think they connect really well. Okay, without further ado, let me get his chart up on the screen. So Pope Leo 300, that's what I'm gonna call him because he's from Chicago, is a Virgo sun at 21 degrees and a possible Virgo, early Virgo or late Leo moon because they don't have his birth time, and the moon moves pretty quickly and he's right there on the border, but let's just go with a Virgo moon for now. So having I'll mention he also has Venus and Mars in Virgo, which gives him a Virgo stellium, and having a lot of Virgo in a chart just gives the themes of sacrifice, service, dedication, purity. Doesn't mean these people are going to be pure or dedicated or of service. It just means that these are themes in that person's life one way or another. And I also noticed he has a good amount of Leo in his chart too, Uranus, Jupiter, and Pluto. And those Leo planets give I live for the applause, 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 I live for the applause, applause. It's very looking good while serving purity is what the Virgo and Leo kind of cusp makes me feel like. They're comfortable in the public eye, but they want to be very particular about their public image too. He has his north node in Sagittarius at 22 degrees and his south node in Gemini, which would also be at 22 degrees. And the nodes in Western astrology very loosely kind of deal with I've heard astrologers refer to them as the arrows of the direction your life is going in. The south node can be interpreted as gifts that you came into life already having mastered, and the north node is what you need to work on. These are all very just brief explanations of a concept that's actually much more complex, but for me, when I see south node, Gemini and Sag, they are sister signs, so they deal with similar themes. Gemini is early childhood education and the neighborhood you grew up in and your siblings, whereas Sagittarius is where you go to study abroad and the university you attend and kind of higher learning and your host family when you're studying abroad, that kind of thing. Sagittarius and Gemini also both rule humor and comedy, as well as learning and the mind. So I love this for him. His sun and Venus, but let's focus on his sun, square these nodes almost off by a degree. And when the sun squares your nodes, your sun's your identity, your basic this is who I am. It's what you look up in a magazine or a newspaper horoscope, right? It's kind of in Western astrology we focus a lot on the sun. So having your sun squaring the nodes, I've heard it referred to as an evolutionary skip step, which I had one mind about, but then when I was kind of trying to look into that more to do research for this video, I saw someone refer to it as an incomplete mission, possible incomplete mission from a previous lifetime. And when I see Gemini on the south node, the Gemini again, south node is stuff you kind of are leaving behind or moving forward from, hopefully, or things you already mastered. he's already mastered being a local legend. He's mastered being like maybe the smartest kid at school, and it's going towards that North Node in Sagittarius, which is like now like see how far like life will take you. So again, just to like recap, like Gemini South Node is kind of like leave your hometown. Virgo stellium is kind of like become a religious figure. Sagittarius North Node, and that is like, and then see how far life takes you. Like it's giving like, oh, the places you'll go by Dr. Seuss. So just to recap all of that, it very much seems like he was never meant to just like live in one place. He was never meant to learn in one place or teach in one place. So yeah, I think it's very cool. Virgo, like I said, purity and service are in there. So like naturally religion has a lot to do with Virgo. And Pisces and Virgo are sister signs. So he has a lot of mutable energy in his chart. The mutables are Gemini, Sag, Virgo, Pisces. So a lot of mutable stuff going on. And there's been a lot of stuff in Pisces, which he lacks planets in. But if there's transiting planets aspecting all of these other three, it is going to set off like a chain of events in one's life. It's kind of like when you like hit the golf ball off the tee. Right now, his current transits are really interesting because the nodes in the sky right now are North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, and those nodes are squaring his natal nodes, and the South Node is crossing his sun soon. So to me, what that says, with all this node stuff going on, I mean, a lot of people don't have this much, like, his chart is just very, like, thick with, like, destiny and fate kind of signatures. And he's having transits that reflect, like, the transition he's going through in life and kind of, like, what this represents and what kind of mission he's completing. I don't even know what my own belief system is about, like, past lives and reincarnation and stuff like that. But for somebody like this, like, knowing nothing about him, never having a conversation with him, I would probably be pretty confident in saying, like, this guy is completing some kind of, like, unfinished mission, having, like, this is probably a huge full circle moment for him. I know we could all look at him and be like, obviously this guy's having a full circle moment. You don't need to know him or read a chart to figure that out. But I just think it's like, you know, it deserves to be said. Like, this is bigger. This is bigger than him. This is bigger than this lifetime for him, for sure. So I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. I've never really, like, noticed that in a chart I was analyzing. Jupiter in Gemini is currently transiting his South Node. So it's also kind of like some kind of completion or, like, blessings coming in from that, like, hometown. So it's like a lot of people in Chicago, like, I'm from there, like I said, people are going really hard for him. Even people who don't really agree with his, like, ideology, like, you know, people kind of say, like, he's homophobic or whatever, not as progressive as the previous pope. And but at the same time, like, people are making so many memes, like putting Chief Keef music over his videos, like just showing him, like, with, you know, with Malort and, like, Italian beefs and stuff. So it's like he's just getting, like, these, like, Jupiter is just, like, an expansive energy, and just, like, again, Gemini is, like, humor and chatter and kind of, like, local stuff, like short distance things. So it's just, yeah, like, people are just, like, so stoked that there's a pope from Chicago. And Jupiter is kind of that, like, comes in and just, like, yeah, it's like people don't even agree with him on a lot of stuff, but they can't help but, like, kind of be proud. Jupiter just comes in and kind of, like, makes everything. Oh my God, there's a duck walking so close to me, guys. I'm scared. But you get what I'm trying to say. The other thing in his transits I will note is that he has this, like, he has this Chiron Uranus opposition in Aquarius and Leo. And Pluto just crossed over his Chiron, so activating that opposition. And it will still go retrograde. Pluto is at those early degrees of Aquarius right now at the time of him becoming a pope. So I just think that's also really interesting. There's so many, like, bigger themes being activated in his chart. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.